What are common things you've never done? Been ice skating. I wanna try, just never have gotten a chance. I don't know if it's just me, but ice skating is hard. I've gone a few times and I almost always fall. Broke my wrist while going ice skating last time. Edit. Holy fucking shit, my inbox might just be dead. I have never been stung by a bee or a wasp. Me too. I'm terrified that if it happens, I'll be deathly allergic. Right now, my evasion game is pretty strong. Edit. I just check Reddit before bed, my apologies for the delayed replies. This was an unexpected blow up, lol. Obligatory thanks for silver. And I didn't realize it was my cake day, so thanks for those too. Adding in that I'm also a heart transplant recipient since February, #DonateLife. So I can definitely get away from wasps and whatnots with my new heart. Edit again for clarity. I've never had, as my parents put it, a real job, that is, one where you turn up at a certain time at a certain place, you work for a certain number of hours for someone who is recognizably your boss, and then you get a paycheck at the end of it. I've done temp work on occasion, but never for long enough to learn how the whole office politics thing is supposed to work. I started freelancing straight out of university, and I just never stopped. God forbid I ever do need to get a more stable job, because my CV is fucked. Never had chicken pox. 0/10, do not recommend. So you are supposed to only be able to get chicken pox once. I got them twice, about 4 months apart, had to be hospitalized the second time because I got them in my throat and nose, couldn't breathe, bottom of my feet, my eyes, like the parts that connect when you close them, it was bad. 0/10 would not recommend. I've never made it through one public speaking opportunity, whether speaking to 3 colleagues in a meeting or delivering a wedding toast to hundreds of people, where my throat hasn't closed up with fear after 30 seconds or so. Everyone I know can stand up and talk to groups of family, friends, colleagues, etc., and just be looked at by all of them. But for me, no matter who they are or how many, my anxiety takes over and I can't get the words out. Maybe someday. Edit. Thank you all so much for the overwhelming support, encouragement, compassion, and great tips and advice. I'm left with the new feeling of, hey, maybe I can do this. I realized that through all the painful and embarrassing public speaking flubs, I still lived through them all. I'm signing up for Toastmasters and will take even small opportunities to speak in public where I can. I appreciate you all. Built a snowman. It's weird because I live in Canada, but when I was a wee kiddo, all my elementary schools had this rule about picking up snow. So no snowballs. No snow forts. No snowmen. We were, however, allowed to roll snowballs along the ground but not to pick them up. So I've never built a snowman. Edit. Seen a lot of comments asking why I never built a snowman at home. We lived right across the street from the school, so if the staff saw either I or my brother picking up snow in our front yard, they'd call our mom. Our mom worked full-time and would get interrupted by these calls. She told them off every time until she got calls all the time. I think they didn't want kids seeing us doing it because they would then go, but they are doing it over there, so I don't know.
Been in a serious relationship with someone. Never even held hands romantically. Last time I, 19F, went to the doctor at the campus health center. Nurse asked if I could be pregnant. I said no. She asked what kind of birth control I was using. I told her my 18 credits, 2 jobs and general awkwardness. At 38 years old, I've never bought a TV. Had the one my parents bought me when I was kid, and then I won one at the Christmas party at my high school job, so I had those 2 until I was in my late 20s. And in the last decade I've received 2 hand-me-downs from friends who were upgrading. I never have the most up-to-date one, but that's not something I care about. I have one that works well. Never had a one-night stand. I've always been in relationships and never had that experience point. I tried to have a one-night stand / casual relationship once. but we are married now. I don't trust strangers sleeping in my home as my thing. There's a certain layer of trust that goes into sleeping in the same bed as someone else, and I don't trust a stranger not to do something to me or my things while I sleep. Sex. How old are you? I was 25 when I got my first girlfriend, and now, 5 years later, I can say I managed to catch up nicely. I thought I'd die a virgin, and that no one would ever be attracted to me. Don't let it become a vicious circle. Take care of yourself, hygiene, clothes, haircut, mental health. Don't get obsessed about being a virgin. People feel despair from miles away, and just be yourself, whoever that is. Learn to look for cues of people interested in you. You might be surprised to find them, just like I was that fateful day when my brother pointed out that some women were looking at me. I thought they were making fun of me. They were not. Just live your life. Stay open to opportunities. Go outside. Well, when the pandemic is taken care of, meet people. Don't chase love too much, or it will run away. Scared? I think the most important thing to keep in mind is that it is a balance. If someone you are attracted to is having no issue of their own dating, then it is for them something a lot less precious than it is for you. If you show them that for you, the eventuality of dating them is extremely precious, you will freak them out. You need to chill and make it less important so you can get to the same level and not scare them away. Learned how to swim. I was in lessons when I was around 3 or 4 years old. I can still remember seeing my dad in the pool. He had blue swim trunks on. I didn't want to go in. I was hanging on to my mom's legs. The lifeguard took me and tossed me into the pool. This was the 80s. I never went back. Still don't know how to swim. My college required swimming to graduate. Luckily I already knew how to swim like a fish. Dated in high school. Nobody was really interested, I suppose, and I had better things to do. Edit. My goodness, this blew up. It's nice to know I'm not alone in this. Thank you kind strangers for the awards, and I hope 2021 treats us all well. My husband didn't date in high school or college. We met in grad school when he was 27. I'm very glad it worked out that way, because if anyone had dated him prior, I doubt they would have let him get away. Tried mustard. I don't trust it. Edit. To satisfy everyone's curiosity about the distrust. 1. Bright yellow. Suspicious. 2. Vinegar is like first or second ingredient. Don't take me for a fool, I love this one the best, just because the reason raises far more questions than it answers. Watched Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones? I refused to watch Breaking Bad solely due to everyone around me demanding I watch it. It was a matter of principle. Once the hype died off, I watched the first episode and was hooked. One of the best shows I've ever had the pleasure of binging. If you have any free time and can't think of a show you'd like to watch, I'd recommend BB. Edit. Fixed words, and I would also definitely recommend El Camino and Better Call Saul. I have actually prefer Better Call Saul, though the margin is very small. Been to Disney. My wife grew up in a Disney family. Went to the park often as kids. Always watched Disney movies Sunday night on TV. I grew up in a dysfunctional home and grew up watching shit like Scarface and horror movies. We took her family to Disney last year and she was so excited. It was the worst theme park I've been to in my life. I played like it was special for my wife, but my god did Disney ever suck not having any nostalgia behind it. Universal was fucking cool though. Never gotten high/mellow on weed. I have tried it many times, see 40 times, but never got high, only badly fucked or paranoid, so yeah, I'm decided me and weed don't agree. Same. I tried it again a few months ago thinking that because I'm 30 with my own home I would have no reason to be paranoid. That whole night I thought my dog was mad at me and I was seriously upset about it. I used to smoke a lot. I just sort of grew out of it, doing drugs in general. Really, I would still smoke occasionally if I was with a friend or at a party or whatever, but stopped buying it and didn't really care about it. Years later I began having panic attacks. I won't touch the stuff now. It gives the absolute fucking worst panic attacks. People cannot grasp this concept. It helps anxiety, bro. No, it helps your anxiety. It absolutely ruins my fucking day. There's a host of classic horror movies I've never seen, but the most well known would be any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. My parents forbade me from watching such movies growing up for religious reasons. Every Halloween night say, hey, this is the year I finally sit down and watch that stupid Elm Street movie, and I've still not seen it because nobody ever wants to watch it. Seen a few others at least. This year I watched Psycho for the very first time. I'm sure I'll get to the others eventually. Never been to Disneyland. Poor families don't have the time or money to travel for expensive leisure vacations. As a kid, Disneyland may as well have been Mars. There was no way I was ever getting there. Edit. Being poor is subjective, I suppose. When you factor in cross-state travel, actually owning a reliable vehicle that can make it their/airline travel money, lodging, having the luxury of being able to afford time off work, food, and drinks, it becomes impossible for poor families to achieve. Ain't nobody going to Disneyland when you're barely making rent. This is kind of sad, but been in love. I'm recently sober, 15 months, and all of my adult relationships were with addicts and abusers. So although we thought we were in love, I don't think you can really be in love when you're that deep into addiction, and I also know my abusers didn't really love me. I'm holding out for it though. Never seen A Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, or any of the Griswold movies, or Die Hard. I'm impressed you haven't even seen them by accident. What? At least watch Christmas Vacation. Half of my family firmly believes that I have seen and love Christmas Vacation. They have an inflatable station wagon on their front lawn and a Clark Kent out in their window. Overboard is a modest term. Literally all I know about it is that the shitter was full and something about moose mugs. I'm a 55-year-old who had asthma for close to 30 years. I used to use the Ventolin rescue inhalers all the time, plus a whole bunch of trips to the emergency room to deal with acute symptoms. First thing you need to do is get a proper diagnosis, and that means a doctor that specializes in that. That will probably be mean either oral steroids or inhaled steroids to control inflammation, which leads to the asthma. When they finally banned smoking in indoor concerts, bars and places like that I used to hang out in, why our summer virtually went away over the course of a year. I don't use inhaled steroids anymore, I just keep a Ventolin inhaler around for cold days like today when I'm planning to go outside, because the cold still triggers it. Learned how to ride a bike, gotten a physical exam, flown in an airplane, developed a stable relationship with my family, to name a few. Of all the ones I scrolled past, yours was the one I stopped on and made me think for a minute. I get the sense there's been trauma, perhaps even tragedy, in your life. Are you okay? Are those things you want to do? If you want to ride a bike, it's not too late to learn. In fact, it may give you something to do while we wind down the old pandemic. Get a physical? Probably something you should do once a year, ESP, as you get older. And it's just part of a bigger picture of self-care, including diet, exercise, dental care, eye checkups, and mental health. Getting on a plane? Well, is there somewhere you've always wanted to go? After the pandemic, if you have the funds, just pack a bag, book a ticket, and go. Even if you go alone. As for your family, if you want to rebuild those relationships, if you want them in your life, I always say it's never too late. Fully burp. My burps are so lazy, we can lame the end before getting to the end of my throat, and I've never been able to make them sound. I think I've burped less than 10 times in my life. Not even with soda. Makes me feel so frustrated. I can easily fart though. This is a recognized medical condition called retrograde cricopharyngeus dysfunction, RCPD, for which there is now, recently, a treatment. Check out r/knobout for more information. It's kinda funny, because not having it kinda made me learn to just live without it. But a goofy birthday party, just one lol bunch of people. Cake. Some kind of hats. We'd all get drunk and sleep after eating too much, and that's it. Specifically no gifts, because I think the idea of doing this is embarrassing enough without adding gifts, but yeah lol. I have never gone into a Starbucks on my own and bought anything. I have only been twice, and only because my boss brought me there for a meeting and he paid. I have never had a flat tire. I have never touched a cow. I have never skied or snowboarded. I have never gotten a tattoo. I have never bought land or a house. I'm 33 and have never been drunk. This is interesting because I started drinking hard liquor at 10 and would often be drinking vodka, whiskey, and scotch from the ages of 10 to 13, but am the only person in my family who hasn't been drunk. This is primarily because I knew then the hell my mother would have brought down on me if she found out. As for later in life, I had too many alcoholic family members and a friend who was hit by a drunk driver and ended up in a coma. Thankfully she made a full recovery. However, these factors convince me that I never want to get drunk, so I wouldn't make their mistakes. I got very close to drinking a couple of years ago. When my brother passed away, I was about to go and buy some alcohol because I wanted so much to get drunk and numb my memories, but I ended up drinking Pepsi instead. I'd been 3 years without soda and started it back that night, but figured it was a better alternative. So many things. I'm pretty naive / inexperienced for age 40. Here's a few. Gone to a non-classical concert. I have anxiety and was too anxious to figure out how to make it happen when I was young. Now, I'm old and have kids and the ship has kind of sailed. Been drunk. I really don't like the taste of alcohol and have never had more than a few sips at a time. Had a one night stand. I got married pretty young, so I don't have a lot of sexual experiences outside those with my spouse. Been hit on. My husband wasn't the type to hit on women, and I'm not particularly attractive. Been dumped. I only had one boyfriend before my husband and the ending of that relationship was mutual. Lived alone. Gone downhill skiing, though I've cross-country skied many times. Ghosted someone. Eaten a jalapeno pepper. Gotten a speeding ticket, or been in a car accident, though I've been pulled over twice for things unrelated to speed. I never had that falling feeling in my sleep, but does it count if I had it mid-dream and never woke up from it, realized it wasn't a dream or otherwise? Also, I haven't done these things yet. I'm 16, seen a sunrise in person, had a snowball fight, been in a fishing boat, won an IRL fight, but I never felt any pain in all the fights that I've been in, from being punched to having a limb hit something hard. And I got up almost instantly after being knocked down and been in a car accident that resulted in some sort of pain / injury. I have never had a crush. If we go by the definition, then yeah, I have never had a crush. I have been attracted to someone before and now they are my partner. Twas no short-lived infatuation with him. Never understood it either. It didn't make logical sense to me. Why do you love someone you don't, or barely, even know? This is probably because I'm demi-romantic and haven't had a friend that I have been close to for more than 8 years. I've never seen so many normal dreams, like going to somewhere without pants, and I've only seen ones where I'm in some place that's full of floating rocks that have houses and stuff on them, and at the end of the dream I always got killed by the same man. These dreams stopped when I was maybe 10. Also most of the time it was in black and white. Never seen snow, besides in pictures / movies, and looking at faraway mountains. Never broken a bone, never had a driver's license or learner's permit. 23. Never been to a party, never eaten onions on purpose, never gotten into a fist fight, never thrown up from alcohol, never had strawberry milk, never seen my birth certificate. I'm not American, but I live in the US. When I arrived I wanted to try some things I saw on movies like Mountain Dew, pancakes, Milky Way, Butterfinger and other things like that. I still haven't tried Twinkies, Dr. Pepper, Pop-Tarts, Kool-Aid and other things like that are not so common where I come from. A big thing I tried here and is a lifesaver is Pepto-Bismol.